Andy over at Falco Canine Academy. We are live on Facebook, and it's a Friday night, so it's okay to have a beer because it's Friday, and that's just the way that we roll here at Falco Canine Academy. But we got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight in a very short period of time. This burning thing that I want to talk about has to do with pinch collars, and it's very, very important. It has to do with also probably on some sense e-collars or electronic collars or shock collars, whatever you call them. And any type of other collar that causes a sharp correction. And again, I'm gonna flesh this whole thing out in just a few minutes. But it's been a burning thing that I've been wanting to talk about for a period of time. Aldo Secchi, my trainer colleague here, who's visiting from Argentina, and will actually hopefully make his home here in the United States. We've been talking so much about the pinch collar. And just how dogs can be under stress and that kind of stuff. So we're not we, because he's out gallivanting around with some friends of ours. But I'm going to be talking a little bit more about the collar itself. Now, Charlie, for whatever reason, has decided he wants to join our Facebook Live by barking. So I'm not sure if you can hear him or not, but he's joining us right now. So I know this is a bit of an unusual thing for us to come on a Friday night. But I don't mind coming on every so often just to see what the results are for people that can be watching. I'm guessing that some of you are getting ready to go out and have a good time here on a Friday night. But first of all, I just want to make sure and welcome all of you. If you're watching for the very first time, or this is your 100th time, because we do a lot of Facebooks, right? But I want to welcome you to Falco Canine Academy. We are planning a lot of things in the next couple months and coming into 2018. And so I want to make sure you're aware of all the things that are happening. We got our pet dog trainers. You got Gina and Derek, who do a fantastic job here in Orange County with Falco Canine OC. We are making connections with other dog trainers, which I'm going to talk about in just a minute. We got a dog summit, a pet dog summit that we're going to be talking about in the near future. We got podcasts and all that kind of stuff. So give me a moment to kind of lay all that out first, and then we'll get to the discussion in regard to the pinch collar, which is in the description. And in the description, you're also going to find a URL that you can click on. I'm also going to put it in the comment section here for you to get your free report for training your dog with love and respect. So if you don't have that yet, just to kind of get an idea of where we are coming from here at Falco Canine Academy, just click on the link. It's either you can either go in the description or you can go in the comment section and see that link. You click on, just put your name and email address. An email will come with a PDF of that report. And again, it'll just help you understand a little bit more where we're coming from here in regard to our training. And if you ever have any questions about it or you want to discuss it, feel free to come on and talk to us about it. I can see people are starting to come on. We are broadcasting live in about 8 different Facebook pages. So if for whatever reason you're typing in the comment section, I don't see it, just click at the top where it says Falco Canine Academy, broadcasting from or originating from, whatever it says. Click on that where it says Falco Canine Academy. That will bring you to our Falco Canine Academy page. Make sure when you're on there, you subscribe. That way you get notification when we're going live and talking. That way you can see the subject matter that we're talking about and decide whether you want to watch it or not. Earlier, or actually yesterday, I was talking to a representative from FitPaws, a fantastic company that makes dog exercise equipment. So if you missed that, go ahead and scroll down just a little bit. You probably should see it fairly quickly. That is an interview we did with FitPaws. We talked about the equipment and exercising with your dogs, and I think I came up with 6 reasons why you need to get some of their equipment and make it a part of you and your dog's daily life with each other. All right. So you're going to want to make sure and subscribe so you can see that kind of stuff. Again, you don't have to necessarily watch all the Facebook Lives we do, because we do some on detection dog work. We do some just kind of demonstrate what it is we're doing for the day. We have broadcasts like today where there's just something that's burning on my mind that we've been talking about lately. And I want to make sure that you're very aware of those things, because the relationship with your dog is not unlike any other relationship, that it's constantly learning, about, the relationship and how you can make it better. If you're married, you know what I'm talking about. You're constantly, if you're, involved in the church, they're always having something about relationships and getaways and retreats. There's no reason why you and your dog, and you and your family and your dog should not, take the time to watch and learn about new things that can just make you and your relationship with your dog that much better, whether that's exercising with your dog or hiking with your dog or doing other things. I appreciate the comments that are coming in from people. Thank you very much. I love the thumbs up. If you can comment, wherever you're at, if you're not driving, feel free to comment. Tell me where you're watching from and what you think about what it is we're talking about up to this point. I want to tell you about a new relationship that I'm creating with a fantastic dog trainer. From everything I'm reading on our Facebook page and our website, the phone conversations we have, the emails that we've been having back and forth, I think I made a really good connection thanks to Gina, our trainer over there again at Falco Canine OC, has made for us, and that is with Cameron Thompson. Cameron Thompson owns a dog training facility called Home to Canine. She has a Facebook page that you want to go on, and you definitely want to go on and like. And actually, I'll put her Facebook page in the comment section here. So this is coming up here. Stuart Lopez has joined us. Let me post this and first get it in. So this is Carmen's. Did I say Cameron? Sorry, I said Carmen. Sorry about that. That's how close we are. So let me correct it. It's Cameron, and I've noticed that she says Cam. So many people, I believe, call her Cam, but Cameron. Again, we've had some great conversations on the phone, great conversations and emails, and so we're going to be doing some other stuff, which I'm going to tell you about in just 1 second. So here is our Facebook page. It'll be in the comment section. Let's see what Stuart Lopez says. My male German Shepherd is super hyper. Would like to work with him so he will not jump on people. Nice. Yes, that is not a German Shepherd jumping on people often makes enemies of those people that he's jumping on. I think he's just really excited to see us, but sometimes he hurts while he's jumping on you. Yes, absolutely. Stuart, if you can go ahead and comment, did you have this dog from a puppy? Well, number one, how old is the dog? Did you have the dog? Have you had the dog since he's been a puppy? And that will help me understand a little bit more about what's going on. So just give me a little bit more information. But I really I love the comments in the comment section. So put them in. As you're joining, put your comments in. That way we can see them and I can respond to them. So I want to talk about Cameron and what it is we're going to be doing here in the next few days. And I'm going to be bringing her onto my podcast. I have a podcast right now that I do. It's called Train the Dog Trainer. And you don't have to necessarily just be a dog trainer. You can actually be running a business. I'm sure there's some subject matter that I'm going to be talking about in the podcast that will help you with your business. But understand that it really, in the beginning, is for dog trainers. But as we are going further into the podcast, because you can only talk about marketing and connecting with your customers, that kind of so on, for so long, there's going to be some subject matter in there that has to do specifically with dogs. So whether you're a dog trainer or not, I do think that you'll get a lot out of subscribing to my Train the Dog Trainer podcast. And so I will put the link now here. Now there's a lot of links coming in here. So you're going to want to be in there. Oh, I just saw that I put in the wrong. Oh, how did that happen? All right. So I'm going to do it one more time. So here is the podcast. Let me do that one more time. I gave you the wrong URL. The URL for the free report is in the description. I put it in the comment section as if that was the thing, but that's for the podcast. So, hey, this is live. This is live television. And so occasionally we make a few mistakes. So where it says free report in the comment section and then that URL is in there, that's to the podcast. And I just posted it in there again. And so I apologize for that. Oh, man. And so you're getting that twice. Where is my Bitly? Here is my Bitly. Here is for the free report that I'm going to put in the comment section. Here we go. All right. So this is for the free report. This little URL coming in there. It's a little tiny one. That's for the free report. The one that says Andy Falco's Train the Dog Trainer, that is for the podcast on iHeartRadio. You're going to want to follow. Now back to my subject. Cameron Thompson and I will be discussing over the next couple of days on evaluations, the important steps in evaluations. I think the evaluation that we do with our customers or with you when you decide. So let's say that Mr. Stuart Lopez were to bring his dog to us and wanted to get started with us. The first thing we generally do is bring him in and his dog and his family, if possible, in for an evaluation. And in the podcast, we're going to be discussing the each part. There's 5 parts that I've kind of worked out that have to do with an evaluation, the things that we are looking for, the things that I find that are important. And now, again, Cameron will be coming on and joining me for this discussion about what is important about those evaluations. It's a lot deeper than you think. And if you're a dog trainer and you're not considering all the other things that go along, other than just asking the questions, how old is your dog? Does he spend more time outside or inside, or a combination of both? How many people are in the family? How much exercise does the dog? So you can ask all those questions and get an answer, but there's more to it than that, I promise you. And so in our podcast, we're going to be discussing in greater detail about those evaluations. And Cameron calls them interviews because she feels that not only are you interviewing the dog owners, but they are interviewing you at the same time. And so we'll have a little discussion about that too. I have a little different feeling about it, which is fantastic. That's the great thing about bringing 2 people on that do the same thing and talk about some of the things that we believe are important and some of the things that they have thought through and decided are really good for them. And I think this is going to be a really, really good discussion. So I can't wait for that. Oh, and let's see. And oh, here we go. And so the last thing, if you are interested in coming live on this broadcast and either support what it is I'm talking about with pinch collars and compulsion related corrections for dogs, or you want to say that I'm full of crapola, feel free to click on this link. Make sure your camera and microphone are connected properly. Gina, if you're watching this, feel free to come on if you want to have a discussion and join the conversation. Or if Cameron happens to be watching for whatever reason, I'm sure she has other things to do. It's so funny because dog trainers often don't pay attention to other dog trainers that often. Now, of course, we kind of know who's in the business. We kind of know who our competition, that kind of stuff. But I know a lot of people have asked me, hey, so what do you think about the Dog Whisperer? And although he and I have worked together and we produced a show together called Love My Pitbull, I probably have not sat through an entire show of the Dog Whisperer. Now, I know that I probably should. I know that people are expecting me to, we've done stuff together, Caesar and I. We've had conversations. I've talked to him about one of his portion of his episodes that I use for one of the presentations that I give, which is the yellow lab that bites him in that one particular episode. And we've had these discussions, but I got to be honest with you. I'm not sure why. There's no reason I don't. It's not that I don't like Caesar or don't like what he does or believe some of the things that people say about him. It's just that's what dog training. That's how we are, right? We're so busy training other people's dogs and doing stuff with dogs that it's so hard to connect in that way with other people's dog training shows and that kind of stuff. So there you go. So we have our Train the Dog Trainer podcast. There's the link. We have our free report. The link is now in there and it's also in the description. And if you want to join this conversation, feel free to connect. And as long as your camera and mic are working, I'll bring you on and we'll have you as a guest on this particular show. All right. So let's get into the meat of this discussion as people are now entering. I can see that we have a lot more people watching now. So I'm going to go ahead and close out this particular thing that you can't see that I'm talking about. Why can't I close it? It will not go away. Hold on. I can't get rid of my, oh, there we go. I could get rid of something on my screen. And so let's talk about the subject of pinch collars. And oh, I'm sorry. I just saw another message here. Stuart Lopez, we love him. He's just a big boy. Oh, he's 5 months. All right. So let me just address this really quick. And I know that there's people, hey, I just wanted to hear about this pinch collar thing. But he's 5 months old. So Stuart's dog is 5 months old. When they got him, he's 1.5 years old now and weighs in at 130 pounds. Oh my gosh, that is a big German Shepherd to have been jumping on you. So one of the things, and I'm not going to say that necessarily that you, Stuart, and your family have been doing this or were doing this when he was small, but what happens with young puppies is that we really love the way puppies smell, right? And we love the way that they engage with us and kind of jump on our bodies and that kind of stuff. And as puppies, not when they're 130 years old, as young dogs, we tend to encourage that behavior, right? We encourage that engagement and that jumping on us and that kind of stuff. But we don't stop it until it begins to hurt. Once the dog gets to be fairly big, especially 130 pounds, now when we're trying to stop it and we're trying to fend off the dog, what it turns into is a game with the dog, right? The dog is jumping up and now we're pushing the dog off. And then when you have a dog that's a German Shepherd type dog, a Belgian Malinois, and some of the other larger breeds, this really becomes part of the game. And they think, wow, there's mom and dad. I love it when they play with me. It reminds me of when I was a puppy, right? And so the big gigantic dog now comes on and scratches you, and you get these big red scratch marks on your arm. And then you get the little bite marks, the play bite marks that you have on your hand. And the way you pull back and you go, what the hell? And you start running away to get away out of the dog. The dog is, wow, I love this. They love me. I love them. And now it's turned to this whole crazy game. And it really becomes hard to stop, because now you've basically trained the dog, or you've encouraged the dog through your movement to play this game. And now the children get involved, and it's even worse because they're smaller and they cry and they run, which excites the dog, and it turns in this whole entire gigantic mess. So how do you solve this problem? Well, it is so hard to give you all the tools that you'll need to probably fix this. However, one of the things that we encourage early on in some of our dog training is that you have a leash on the dog when he's inside the house. Now, you got to understand that there's rules, right? You can't have the leash on the dog all the time when you're and then forget and leave it on when you leave, because it can get caught underneath the leg of some furniture. It can get caught underneath the door, and the dog could panic and begin to choke himself. So I'm telling you this with caution, that you have to be careful that when you're home, have the dog on leash, and that way you can get that dog off of you without having to push and shove. Many dogs understand that the leash and the collar are the way that you communicate. So if your dog jumps on you, you can give a little pop on that leash to get the dog off of you. Once the dog's all four of the dog's paws hit the ground and he's in a seated position, then you can give the dog a light brush to let him know he's okay. If you go too heavy, the dog will jump up again, because that builds excitement. So it has to be something really light. You can give the dog a treat if you like. You can tell the dog, what a good dog. Yeah, I love it when your paws are on the ground and not on my body, right? But one way you can control that is through having a leash on the dog inside the house. Now, what kind of collar do you have on the dog? I don't know yet, because I don't know your dog. We're going to talk about pinch collars here, and that's the reason I'm answering this question, is that you may use a pinch collar. You may use a choke chain. You may use a flat collar. You may use a martingale. You may use an electronic collar. I don't know. And that's the part where we have to really evaluate where you are, where your dog is at, and then maybe define what it is that's going to work for you as a human being with your dog. I often say the collar isn't decided by the dog or by the type of dog that you have. The type of collar we're going to use is decided based on who the human is, right? There's the human is where I look at to decide what kind of collar I'm going to put on the dog. It's not the other way around. You'll learn some of this in our Train the Dog Trainer podcast, how important it is to take the human into consideration, more so quite often than it is to take the dog into consideration. Now, we have the dog, right? We know what kind of dog we have. Now, how do we equip the human to be able to have the best relationship possible with the correct equipment for who they are as a human being, not the other way around? So I know it sounds strange, and it may be very unusual to hear a dog trainer talk like that, because it's not about the dog. Really, truly, it's not about the dog. So the one thing that hardly works, especially for a dog that's 130 pounds, is the kneeing and the kicking and that kind of stuff. That rarely works. Quite often that builds up and creates more bad behavior if you try to do that kind of stuff. I have Stuart says, we love him. He's just a big boy. Right. I have advertisements, Facebook advertisements that say, do you have a love-hate relationship with your dog? Many people do, right? They love the dog, but they hate when he jumps. We love the dog, but we hate when he runs out the front door and chases the kid on the skateboard. We love our dog, but I hate it when he eats my shoes or my underwear or my socks, right? Or he pees on the living room floor, right? We love him, but we hate him. We love him, but we hate what he does. We love him, but we hate her behavior. And that is where Falco Canine Academy comes in. And we try to figure out how it is that we can train you with the dog that you have, the dog that you have chosen. So yes, I understand that completely. Trina Van Gleason, I've got a 6-year-old Great Dane who is really reactive to medium to large dogs. She's great with the littles. And it was funny you say the littles because that's what the neighbor kid calls my kids, the littles. And puppies. I use a prong on her, fit, high, and snug. Perfect. That's the way it's supposed to. Any suggestions would be so appreciated. So I'm going to try to address this as much as I can without knowing your dog in relationship to the pinch collar. So we're going to talk about that pinch collar in just a minute. That's our Bruno. Yeah. So I guess whatever I said nailed the type of dog that they have. We need to come see you. Yes, that would be great. So this isn't a sales pitch to have you come see me, but you need to at least see us or somebody that has the experience to work with the type of dog you have. So if any of you are watching this in the San Diego area, what I can gather from what I'm learning from Cameron Thompson, she may be a good fit down there in the San Diego area. Or you can just come up. We've had customers from San Diego. We've had customers from Big Bear. Here we are in Orange County. We've had customers from Simi Valley that see us every week for 7 days in our group obedience training. We've had people come down from Arrowhead, from Big Bear, from San Diego, from Rancho Cucamonga to Barstow. Yes, Barstow, and all over the place. So wherever you're at, you can come to us. But you just need to make sure and find a trainer that understands all the tools, not just one tool. The one thing you don't want to go to a trainer that says, well, when you come in, we put a pinch collar on your dog and then we work from there. No, that's not the way it's supposed to work. You have electronic collar people. Every dog gets an electronic collar. No, that's probably not the right thing to do. We need to do an evaluation or an interview, as Cameron and I were discussing earlier today, or we need to come to your home and really kind of see what's happening between you and your dog. Because again, it's so important to understand the human beings that are involved with this dog. So let's get to the pinch collar question. One of the things I think that happens way too often as too many dog trainers who do accept the pinch collar as one of their training tools, and we are one of them, right? We accept the pinch collar as one of our training tools and say that when it's used correctly with the right situation, with the right human being, then it can be one of the greatest tools to save a dog from being euthanized. I've been able to use a pinch collar in some situations where without it, a dog would have been euthanized, right? Or the dog would have been rehomed or sent back to the rescue or sent back to the shelter, right? When used correctly, this is often the thing that can be missed, right? And I just because we say that a pinch collar can be a good tool, it's often said, and I've heard, well, you people are cruel because you use a pinch collar. Well, you're not listening to what I'm saying. In the correct situations with the right human being, involved, the pinch collar could be the tool that could make the difference. Could be. And it has to be used at the right time. All right. So one thing I'm afraid of is what happens sometimes. And even some of the trainers that have been with us in the past, they've gone strictly to a pinch collar regimen where every dog that comes in that has any energy whatsoever, they've decided, we're just going to put you on a pinch collar. There could be nothing more wrong. Is that the way? I think that's the best way to put it. It's just wrong. That mentality is that, well, if the dog has energy, he's aggressive, he's tugging on the leash, he's pulling me down on my face, and the first thing, it's got to be a pinch collar. Well, no, maybe not. Maybe there's something that needs to happen in between now and when the dog gets the pinch collar. There has to be something to set the stage for the pinch collar, perhaps. Maybe there's something else going on. Is the dog already stressed out? If the dog's already stressed out, and this is where I was going to get to with the medium, the dog, gosh darn it. Trina was talking about her Great Dane, who is reactive to medium to large breed dogs. Is this a stress-based reaction to other dogs? Is the dog fearful? I know it's hard to imagine that this big, gigantic Great Dane may be fearful of a medium-sized dog, but dogs don't really necessarily see size the same way that we would look at a big man and say, oh, I'm a little afraid of getting my butt kicked from that big man. Dogs don't really do that per se. There could be something that occurred that causes them not to like other dogs. Quite often, the reason a dog doesn't like another dog is because the human being is tensing up when they see this dog approaching another dog. They begin to wind the leash up in their hand, which then causes the dog to look up and say, wow, why come my human being is so afraid that they're tensing up and pulling me in like a gigantic yellowtail and pulling me towards them? That must mean that my human being is afraid of that medium-sized large breed dog that is approaching me, right? It's not that the dog was necessarily afraid of the large breed dog. It's that my human being was afraid of that medium large breed dog. And so the dog, feeling that energy, feeling that pull back on that leash, is now going, oh my God, you want me to protect you? I'm going to protect you. And the dog begins to growl, right? So if sometimes this is the case, then sometimes the pinch collar can actually make your problems worse, because now, remember, it is stress based. It is concern. You've told the dog that you're concerned, but now adding the pinch collar to the dog, now the dog is also concerned, right? Because now that dog is causing this dog pain and discomfort. And when does that pain and discomfort always occur? It always occurs now whenever they're confronted with a medium to large breed dog. Why? Because that's what we told the human being as a trainer, that's the tool you're going to need when you see a medium to large breed dog. You see how this all kind of comes together, that now the pinch collar is now adding to your problems, right? The dog is already fearing that size dog because of who you are as a human being. You already told them. And now you've confirmed that they are bad, right? The medium to large breed dog is bad because now it hurts the dog too. And so now in the way that you're trying to solve their problem, you've created a bigger problem, right? So my concern with what's happening with pinch collars and the number of pinch collars I see on dogs is that it can be an easy solution that gives the perception that you're fixing the problem. So now, does the pain that is coming from the pinch collar get the dog to stop, right? Yes, quite often it gets the dog to stop because it is so painful. But now what happens is now the dog holds in all of that negative energy. And I know this is sounding very, not fluffy, but what's the word I'm looking for? Very, off the planet type of stuff. Is that energy though? And now the dog has to hold in. He goes, God, I want to kick that dog's ass so bad, but I can't do it because it hurts, right? When I do it, the pain is so great that I can't let out the stress. I can't let out the fear. I can't let out my true feelings. So now the dog has to withhold it. And now the dog is all tensed up, right? The dog is now going, God, here comes a dog, and they're closing their eyes because it hurts so bad. I want to growl. I want to bark, but I know that whatever, I don't know how it happens, but it feels pain. My owner begins to pull on the leash. It causes pain. And now the dog is holding in that negative energy. And now you're causing stress on the dog. And now I'm probably causing stress to all of you. And you're going, oh my God, you're making this sound like such a horrible situation. But it is what we do, right? And if we see a dog, and Aldo and I were looking at a dog today and we're going, wow, that dog is under stress. It's a dog that has a pinch collar on, but the moment it came out of the crate, they're hooked up to the pinch collar, and you just see the dog licking his lips, and he's panting. He's already panting and he's done nothing. The dog is panting and he's standing in a parking lot. Right? It's cool weather. It's probably, what was it today? 50 to 60 degrees, something like that, in the shade. We're sitting there parked in the shade, and it's cool. And yet we have a dog who's just simply come out of his crate, and the dog is panting as if he'd been playing fetch for an hour. And much of that is mental, right? Dogs get tired faster by mental stimulation than they do from physical stimulation. Right? Sometimes you can throw a ball for an hour and not see the stress or the strain or the tiredness in a dog that you do when a dog simply is just stressed. Then the dog looks like he's ran a mile. The dog's tongue is fully sticking out, kind of flopping to the side, and the dog has done nothing. And it's all based on this energy that he's having to hold in because he's got the pinch collar on. If the dog has not been trained how to control the pinch collar, that's the key. right? The dog just fears the pinch collar. He fears the situation. He fears the potential of being brought in front of a dog that he doesn't like, because now he has his pinch collar on, and now you have a little bit of a stressful situation, a gun shy type of situation where the dog is now going, I don't even know what to do. And so I'm just going to sit here and hold it in. And now the dog is just, full of all this negative energy. Falco Dog Training, Orange County, built up frustration. Yes, it just builds up. I think the handler in this case put the pinch collar on the dog as they left the house. So now the dog's wearing the pinch collar, knowing, do dogs know they're going to training? Do they know that they're going to Falco Field to do a group obedience training? Do they know that they're going to the veterinarian's office because of the right and the left turn combination? Absolutely. Dogs know where they're going, because if they've done it once or twice, now they know. Right turn, a left turn, a long straightaway, and then a right turn, I'm at the park, right? They get excited. Oh, this is so great. We're going to the dog park, right? If you put the pinch collar on their dog and you make those same things, the dog goes, oh, I know. Police dogs know, well, I'm going to canine training, and I know that I'm going to get some bites. I'm going to chase some bad guys down. And the dogs are all pumped up when they get to that training field because they know exactly where they are. Dogs know where they're going without seeing where they're going, right? Again, you put on certain equipment like a pinch collar or a choke chain or a certain leash or a harness. Dogs quickly know what it is they're going to do. We've used harnesses and certain types of collars for years to let the dog know that he's about ready to do this job. For Guide Dogs of America, when they put on that harness, the dog knows that they have to be a guide dog. You take the harness off, now the dog suddenly runs around like a banshee, like an idiot, because now he knows he's not a guide dog, right? Because he doesn't have the equipment on that requires him to be under control. And that is one of the beautiful things about that for Guide Dogs of America, that vest or that harness that they put on, that instantaneously the dog kicks in to that mode. So the pinch collar does the same thing. You put the pinch collar on the dog knows, I think I'm going to be taken to a situation that I do not like. And the dog begins to internalize all those negative feelings. What did Gina say? Built up frustration, because the dog is thinking the whole way to where you're driving. Oh God, I'm going to do that obedience. They're going to sit me next to that pit bull that I hate because that pit bull keeps looking at me like it's going to eat me. And then on my right hand side, they're going to put that Chihuahua that I can't stand that Chihuahua. That little Chihuahua, if I could just get a hold of that Chihuahua, right? And so the dog is thinking about this. I know when they do that, I know this is where I'm going, and I'm going to be around those dogs that I can't stand, right? And so the dog begins to build up that energy. So there's some things that need to be done to decide. Again, number one, is the pinch collar going to be appropriate for this situation? Also, do we go to the pinch collar too soon? I talked about this with my trainers. I don't like, if I can help it, I do not want to go to the pinch collar on the first or second day of our group obedience training. I really like to put it off, because I really truly want to see what it is that we can do without the pinch collar and see what the situation is without the pinch collar before we decide to go to the pinch collar. Because we may very well change our mind, right? On day one, we're thinking, this looks like this is probably going to be a pinch collar situation. And I know for sure there's been times where if I've given it a week or two, that I have decided, you know what? I don't know that the pinch collar is actually the thing. I think the timing of the human being is way more important, that they need to understand their dog a lot better. If I can get them to understand their dog a lot better and get their timing better, we can completely avoid the pinch collar. It's not going to be one of those things that we need to use because of the human being. If we train them properly and just help them understand that their timing needs to be better, their understanding that the dog needs exercise, more exercise, or we need to change the dog's nutrition patterns, nutrition, whatever you're feeding the dog, right? Whatever that is, we're going to change that. That could be the thing. I keep a loose leash and try to redirect her. I've had neck and back surgery, so I use the pinch collar because of me. Yes. And I love what Trina said there. The pinch collar is because of who she is as a human being. And this is a situation where we're saying, okay, we got a dog that has strong energy, a big, gigantic Great Dane, right? Who can be 120, 130, 140 pounds, with a woman who has a back injury, right? And this is like, well, there's not a lot of choices. We need to somehow give Trina more strength and power than her back is able to handle, because she has selected a dog of this size that she loves, I am sure. But unfortunately, the dog gets really aggravated in front of these other dogs. Now, we can give her the pinch collar, but we can also look at some other avenues that help with the pinch collar, in that we need to teach the dog to understand that Trina is under control, and the dog does not need to protect her from medium and large breed dogs. Quite often, dog aggression, again, as I said before, is the dog is showing aggression because they believe the human being feels threatened by those dogs. This is one case where, and again, I don't know 100% because I can't say that I've seen this, that other dogs, puppies, are not a threat because probably the human being sees little dogs and puppies and goes, oh, look how cute they are, right? And the shoulders kind of roll forward. Oh, man, I love those little puppies. And I love those little dogs. They're so darn cute, right? And we act a little bit differently as a human being. But when we see a medium to large breed dog, we go, oh, no, there it is, right? And our behavior changes, our energy changes, the way that we stand changes, our facial expressions change, our voice will change, right? Because we go, oh, how cute, look at the puppy. Oh, no, there's a medium to large breed dog, right? Our voice can change. So you put all that together and a dog instantaneously, before you even realize you're doing it, the dog already knows that, uh-oh, that's different, right? Mom acts differently with puppy and small dogs. And again, Trina, I could completely be speaking out of school. So I'm just saying, this is what my experience tells me, is that we see a puppy, I see a puppy, my daughter sees a puppy, and she squeaks, right? My 9, oh, look at that puppy, right? Oh, it's so cute. Oh, look at that little dog. Oh, there's no threat there. Oh, uh-oh, wait, come back here. So when I see a dog, right, and been in the dog training business for 30 years, when I see a young dog, I don't even hesitate to let my kids more often than not go visit the young dog or the puppy, right? But I see a pit bull or a large Labrador Retriever or a Great Dane or a German Shepherd, and I say, just come over here first. Let the owner let us know if the dog can be pet, right? There's a completely difference, right? I say, I don't even bother with the smaller puppy, but with the other dogs, I go, oh, come over here. Let's check first. And right away, you see the kids straighten up and act completely different. Those are huge. I talk about this in the court cases that I'm involved in, that dogs are masters at reading body language. They are far faster at reading our body language than hearing what it is we say. That's why our first 4 commands at Falco Canine Academy are nonverbal, because dogs learn faster with the nonverbal communication. Leaving with your left leg means heel. Leaving with your right leg means stay, right? Stopping means sit, which should have been the first one. Sorry. Stopping means sit. Go, my gosh. I forgot what the other one was. It's been so long. The dog training. Let's at least do the 3, right? And then you got your hand signal down. Dogs are much faster at learning those commands because we instruct our students that what we do is we spend too much time saying sit, 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 heel, 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 down, 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 down. All these things that the dog just completely looks at us, go, I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't speak English. I don't speak Spanish. I don't speak German. I don't speak French. I don't speak Dutch. Right? But I do understand when you lead with your left foot, it means heel. Dogs are really quick at reading that body language. So dogs are masters at reading body language. She's 37 and a half inches at the shoulders and 147 pounds. Yeah, she outweighs. Yeah, well, and not only does she outweigh you, but you have a bad back, right? So the bad back is sit, stay, and heel, and nonverbal. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Gina. I thought there's a. I mean, I think it's the down command, and the sit command from a down. I'm at it. In my head, I'm adding other nonverbal commands, but the first 3 are the ones we teach, and then later on we throw in the down signal for the down command. But the dogs are much faster because it's hard to repeat stopping, right? It's hard to say it over and over again, right? When we just stop, we stop, right? When we leave with our left leg, we just leave with our left leg. There's not multiple leavings with the left leg, right? But it's so easy for people to say sit, 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 sit over and over again. So body language is key. Oh my gosh. So yeah, 147 pounds. Wow, that is a big dog, especially when you have a back problem. And now that dog is reactive to medium to large breed dogs. So, but again, understand what I'm saying. I'm going to kind of revisit this one more time, is that I have used pinch collars for many years. I don't, as a police officer, almost every police dog, just about every police dog that I think was in our organizations early on all had all had pinch collars, right? It was this belief that because he's big and strong and has the potential to bite, and we can command him to bite, then it's just automatic the dog gets a pinch collar. What I've learned later on is that I had many police dogs. Well, I don't want to say necessarily many. I had a few police dogs that we never even used a pinch collar, because the handler was that good to understand that it's more about the timing, more about anticipating when your dog is going to do something he's not supposed to be doing. And then mostly the number three, it's about the relationship really between the dog and the handler, and understanding that that's the thing that's more, it can be more painful when you have a great relationship with your dog when you say no to that dog than if you were to give him a correction on the pinch collar, if you develop the correct relationship with the dog, right? And so if you say no, right, it's almost like with my son. I have one of my sons, maybe two of my sons. If I say no in a certain way, that they will begin to cry. It's because we have a bond and relationship. That the children that I have raised, we have a really good relationship, and they are really upset when I am disappointed in something they are doing. They clean their rooms, they fold their clothes, and they're 4, 6, 9, and 10, 11. And much of that is because I understand dog training so well that it just kind of fits into children training, right? And that we have rules and boundaries, and my timing is similar, not only dog training, but with my children, that I don't repeat myself over and over again. Now, I do have a daughter. She does challenge me, and my heart kind of gets broken from time to time. I have a tendency, even my son points out, how come you give her more chances than you give me? All right, well, because she's my daughter, and that's just the way that it is. And so, but I suffer more with my 9-year-old daughter because I do not have the same expectation that I do with my sons. Right? So I can see there is a direct correlation that if my expectations are greater, right, then I have to repeat myself less. That when I say, and this is one of the things I do love, my 4-year-old yesterday, I was telling him, I said, hey, Bo, you need to go make your bed and brush your teeth. And he gets up and he says, sir, yes, sir. And he runs and he makes his bed and brushes his teeth. Right? And I tell my daughter, who she has me wrapped around her finger, I say, hey, Ray, you need to go make your bed and brush your teeth. Hey, Ray, I need you to go brush your teeth and make your bed. Maybe I just didn't say it in the right order. She still said, hey, gosh darn it, Ray, come on. And so you see the correlation, right? My son, especially even my youngest son, I say, do this. He jumps up, yes, sir, and runs and does it. And then I go and it's done. I mean, there's nothing. It's because my expectations are stronger and more consistent with the rules and boundaries with the 3 boys. The 3 boys understand that I will not tolerate saying it a second time, right? They know, and I get upset. And it really is the same with the dogs, right? And again, I can see the difference in my daughter because I am a little bit softer with her, and I can't help myself. And I try to not do that. So really, really, really important. And I see I'm getting no comments. People are just like rubbing their face and going, what is he talking about? What does children training have to do with dog? It's the same. I'm telling you, it really is the same. All right. What am I missing, Gina? And how come you don't want to come live? I know that you have a camera and you have a microphone. How come you're not coming on with me and bailing me out? I'm talking about such craziness and crazy stuff. Gina's so proud of her daughter, just went to the police academy. I love seeing those pictures, and it just reminds me, I saw pictures of the academy, and they're all wearing shorts and stuff like that. I'm going, what kind of academy is this? Shorts. We are fully dressed in August, out there standing in the sun, sweating, while they yelled and screamed at us and told us what horrible people we were and that we were lower than maggots. And then making us hold the push-up position for such long periods of time. And I remember the asphalt being so hot. I mean, we were burning our hands. It's just a little bit different now than what it was when I went through. And they could cuss, they could call us the F word and A word and scream and spit in our face, not spit literally, but because they're yelling, the spit's coming out of their mouth. I had a 45 long Colt, and they took my 45 long Colt out. They said, oh, look at this. And they're spinning, and they dropped it, and it bounced on the asphalt across the the thing, and I just had to stand there at attention, just like I almost cried because my brand new 45 Long Colt was bouncing on the asphalt, and I thought it was completely broken. And then the TAC officer comes, whispers in my ear, and says, "Hey, Jimenez, if anything's broken, let me know, and I'll fix it." And he kind of just walked away, but. It was so funny seeing Gina's daughter there, and again, it's just it was awesome though. They're still at attention. There's all. I mean, I'm telling you, it's not easy, right? I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm just thinking, well, if we could have wore shorts, that would have been so much better. Trina, thank you. All makes perfect sense. I wish I still lived in 29 Palms. I'm in Indiana now. Well, come on down from Indiana. We've had customers ship their dog. We had a customer in France. It was a Dutch Shepherd. They were out walking their dog. A jogger goes by, and the dog leaps up and bites the jogger. The jogger happened to be an off-duty Paris police officer. They found one of my YouTube videos, and I think bought one of my books or something like that. The next thing you know, they're calling and saying, "Hey, we need to ship our dog to you for dog training." And they shipped the dog to Brea, California, where the dog spent a couple weeks with us, trained it, and then. They came down, they flew down themselves, and I put them through some training with their dog. And so, yeah. So Indiana to me doesn't seem that far. We've trained the dogs for the Kingdom of Bahrain, Peru, and of course we have Aldo Secchi in Argentina. We've had dogs in Northern Ireland, and Trina, just join me. We'll talk a little bit more about this, but really, you want to find a way to build that relationship. Now, I understand that you probably, again, because you're the human makes the decision quite often what type of equipment we use. That pinch collar is a lifesaver, right? You got this huge dog with a bad back, and it is the thing that's going to keep this dog in your life, right? So you don't have to give it up. The thing is, with these the certain types of dogs is you gotta kind of take a breath and not add to it. I need to take it's Friday night, and so what you got to figure out what that distance is. What is the distance? And in the beginning, the more you can set this up for success instead of being surprised, right? So when you're on a walk at a park, a dog can just come around the corner, and then all of a sudden now the dog is within that range. So let's say that 25 feet is the range where your dog goes off, right? When the dog gets within that 20 to 25 feet where the dog goes off, when a dog is at 30 to 35 feet, that's when you can go into some type of obedience regiment, right? And so at 30 feet, you can turn as soon as you see the dog. You turn, and again, you don't want to tense up like, oh shit, there's another, or shoot, sorry, I'm so sorry. You don't want to say to yourself, oh shoot, there's another dog coming. It's just you simply just make a right turn as if it's part of your walk and part of your obedience. Right turn. You'll see your dog begin to show focus on this dog at 35 feet, but it's not within that 20 feet where the dog lunges and becomes barking. Again, I'm using just a distance just randomly. But you make a right turn, you make another right turn, you go the opposite direction, you make another right turn, and then you come to a stop position where that dog can come walking by. If your dog begins to breathe heavy or begins to show a change of behavior, you move, right turn, stop and sit. And then that dog continues forward. Your obedience pattern is something you go into prior, not after, prior to the dog becoming reactionary to the dog that's coming. Your reaction is simply just, this is part of our walk, right? It's not, oh crap, here's a dog that I know you're going to try to bite and eat and lunge at, right? That it's completely different. So as you're walking, you see the dog coming, you go right turn, you go right turn, and you go sit. The dog sits. If you can go down. Now, the difference between a sit and a down is that some dogs feel very vulnerable in a down position, and it's going to be very, very tough to get your strong-willed dog to get into a down position, which is a position of submission to another dog that they don't like. All right, so that may be tough. I would maybe try that later on, but at least bring your dog to a sit position, and as that dog is passing by, if your dog gets up or acts out in an aggressive manner, you immediately go on that very same obedience pattern without the fear that you have felt in the past. You want to do it with authority, and that you go, all right, you want to lunge out? We're going to go to this obedience pattern. We're going to get you to sit, and you just do it. Okay, we can do this all day long, right? But you want to make sure that you do it at a time before your dog becomes uber strong. A dog becomes uber strong when they get into that fear situation, and the adrenaline flows, and now their pain tolerance goes up, and now it's really hard to control them. You want to go into that obedience pattern below that, before their red line. All right, so that distance is important. And again, I say when you can set it up, that would be great. If you have a friend that has a Labrador Retriever or a German Shepherd in that size range, if you can get with them and say, hey, what I want to do is meet you at the park, and to help me with my dog's issues, I would really appreciate it. I'll take you out to lunch afterwards. If you do this for me, is that I want you to go on the under end of the park. I'm going to call you on my cell phone, and I'll have my headphones on. And I'll say, okay, can you start walking towards us? And just do it slowly. And then what I'm going to do is when you get into a certain distance, you're going to see me go into this pattern. And then what I want you to do is wait until I get control over my dog. Once I get control, I'll let you know to move forward. And when you move forward, I'm going to watch my dog. And at the moment you see me go into this pattern, I want you to stop. And if you can control their movement, it'll be easier for you to control your dog. Get your dog into that position where they're under control. And then that person moves by and goes by. And then the moment that dog is past that zone where your dog shows aggression, you want to praise your dog and let them know that you love them, because they just sat still for a medium to large breed dog to pass by you, and you are going to make it a fantastic moment with your dog. You're going to go, man, I love you. I feel so much power and so much love and so much respect out of you because you held that position while that dog went by, right? But you're going to have to find that way that you're going to be able to do that without showing fear, but confidence and authority over the dog. Dogs love leadership. If you can give them that feeling that you're in charge and that you're a leader, they're going to love you. They're going to look at you more often, and they're not going to be as fearful. Dogs are fearful when they're with somebody that is not a leader. If they're with somebody that is showing fear and concern and angst, then they don't feel like they're being led by a leader. They feel like they have to be the leader because they feel your pain and feel your discomfort and your fear and your angst, right? And so if you can switch that around where now you're coming from a position of power and leadership, they'll follow you almost all day long. You just have to show them that you can be trusted as a leader, and you're going to control them. Wow, I went a whole darn thing there. I hope that's helpful, Trina. And it's just, when you said you're from Indiana, I want to make sure and give you as much information that you can live with. But part of it is distance, right? That you need to have that distance, because quite often we don't react until after the dog is lunging and growling and snarling. And now we're trying to, oh crap, my dog is getting away from me. My hands hurt, my back hurts, and all this kind of stuff. And now it's too late. And now you're adding to the anxiety because you're correcting, the dog's growling, the dog's barking, and now it turns into a big mess. Where if you do it with distance and authority, it'll be much easier to control the dog. All right. Hope that helped. Sorry, went on a whole rant there. I know many of you are getting ready or you want to go out and party, and here I am talking, and I lost a few people, which is fine. I only want to talk to people that want to hear what I have to say. All right, Trina, I hope that helped. Gina, did I lose you? Are you still around? There's Trina's lives in Indiana. So Trina, thank you. Gina. Oh, here came another comment. If I sent her to you, you'd see why she gets called Miss Naughty and Unruly Zuli. That is a great one. That is funny. Oh, thank you so much. I'll try the distance exercises tomorrow with her. Yes. So yeah, I'm sure there's some type of park or something. We've had dogs that are reactionary that we take to a dog park, not to go inside the dog park. But at a dog park, you're guaranteed, right, to see other dogs, right? And so, but we started in the parking lot with this particular dog. There's a dog park right up the street here. And so I had one of our students meet me in the parking lot of the dog park. And so we never went into the dog park, right? We were just in the parking lot because we knew at some point somebody would get out with their dog and we'd have that opportunity. And we set up so that we had the distance necessary to have success. And then as we got better and better, then we were able to move more into the middle of the parking lot, thereby taking a chance when somebody come out, and then pretty much we were able to get over it. But we were using the dog park parking lot to help us with our reactionary dog, and it worked out perfectly. And so things were really good. Eventually, she was able to get in our group. The reason we had to do that is because she couldn't get into the group training because it was so miserable for her in the group training session, because she couldn't get her dog to stop lunging and growling and snarling. So we had to go to the parking lot to get the dog so that the dog could be around other dogs. So that's a very powerful thing that you can use. I was trying to figure out how to activate my webcam. Oh, come on, Gina. She's a great dog trainer, but can't operate a webcam. Come on. Oh boy. All right. Let me see if I missed anything. Anybody else on here that has anything that has to do with, and again, I'm trying to stay within the little bit of a subject of the pinch collar, but again, the pinch collar is a great tool, but I think that we're doing, as far as dog trainers, again, we as dog trainers, I think there are too many dog trainers that are going to the pinch collar because it's easy, right? You can see a result quickly, but is it really the best thing for the relationship and best thing for the dog? Probably not. I would say probably not. There needs to be some basic ground flooring kind of laid first, that perhaps you can go without the pinch collar. But if you do go with the pinch collar, the relationship is now built to a place where that pinch collar is not going to harm your relationship. If you go too soon with a dog, you can harm that relationship because now you've gone to something that's a very harsh and painful mechanism, and it could cause mistrust. It could cause stress because now the dog feels like he's got to hold stuff in. So very, very important. Erg, come on, Gina. I can't wait much longer. I'll have another drink of my soda. If you've never had Big Wave beer, it's very, very good. You can get it at Whole Foods. I think we can get this now at Stater Brothers. Very, very good beer. Again, it's a Friday, and this is my excuse and why it's okay to have a beer during the podcast. A Facebook Live. You know, it's so funny. I'm on my podcast, and I say, hey, I will see you later, and it's an Audible podcast, right? And then here I am on Facebook Live, and I'm talking about it as if it's an Audible podcast. But again, if you're not subscribed to our podcast called Train the Dog Trainer, I would really appreciate it if you get on there and subscribe. We're on iHeartRadio, we're on iTunes, Spreaker, and one other one. I can't remember which one it is, but make sure and subscribe to our Train the Dog Trainer program. Whether you're a dog trainer or not, I think we're now going to be getting into some meat of some really cool dog training stuff. And whether you're a dog trainer or not, I think you'll find it very interesting. I'm going to be bringing on guests, and I'm sure Gina will be on my podcast very shortly because I love her and I want her on there. And whether she wants to be or not, I will make her come onto my podcast. I've gotten through most of the stuff where it's just kind of laying, again, the groundwork for where we can now get into some dog training stuff. We definitely had to talk about some business stuff to start with, but now we're getting into the dog training aspect of our podcast. All right. Well, it looks like Gina had to try another time. Not sure why it's not activating. Oh, man. Gina Bobina, Fi Fofina. All right. Go get a Logitech 920 webcam. And a Mac computer. If you get those two things together, it'll work perfectly every time. No worries. All right. That is it then. That's my discussion on the pinch collar. And I hope that it was helpful to you. And that is it. And look at my logo thing. It has not been, oh, look at that, 17 minutes. So that's actually shorter than I thought. I thought we were clearly going into our 30-minute podcast or Facebook Live here. Wow. So crazy that my mind is going. It's too much dog stuff. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this Facebook Live and our discussion about pinch collars. Make sure and check out all those links. You want to check out what Cameron's doing. You want to check out what Gina's doing. Gina, put your one of your URLs on there, whether it's the website or the Facebook for you have a Mac. Well, you don't have the right webcam. How about that? Go ahead and put your URL in there so people can get a hold of what it is you're doing there at Falco Dog Training, Orange County. And what else did I put in there? I put, for the free report, make sure and click on that link. And just get a better understanding of what is it. Oh, she got rolled by a Pitty and an Akita when she was about a year old. Yep, that happens. And that's one of the dangers that I have with dog parks. That's why I created the training program called Dog Park Etiquette. Not that this happened at a dog park. Again, this could just be one of those moments where you're on a walk and an Akita and a pit bull. Oh my gosh. Both those dogs are potentially problematic dogs, right? And so, that definitely was, history, right? History with certain types of dogs, medium to large breed dogs, it's from being attacked by them, and dogs have a problem with them. Hey, Cameron, you're on. I didn't even see you were on. Oh my gosh. I've been talking about you as if you weren't even here. Glad to see you on here, Cameron. I'm sorry. I don't know how long you've been on here or if you're even still on here. But shoot, I wish I would have seen you on there earlier. And you could have came on live too. So the link was there for you. if you are still around, Cameron, if you want to come on, I can stay on a little bit longer. That would be awesome. Or you just want to wait. That's fine too. Oh, it was at a dog park. Yep, there you go. You know, I feel like I should put up, well, you know what? If you click on the link for the free dog training report, it will send you to, it's called an upsell. It will send you to an upsell to dog park etiquette. And I think it's only $9. So it's very affordable. It's how you can use a dog park to actually create a better relationship with you and your dog. So many people go to a dog park because they just want to take their dog to the dog park and let the dog go, and they can hold a conversation with their friends, and allows their dog, they think their dog's going to get exercise while they socialize with their friends or talk on the phone or play candy corn or whatever it's called. What's it called? Candy something. Candy. It's one of those games on that I obviously don't play. So they can do that while their dog runs around. No, a dog park is a perfect place to train your dog and create a better relationship between you and your dog. If you follow the training I put it there in dog park etiquette, which you can get there by getting our free report, then you might want to do that. Again, it's only $9. And this kind of stuff should not happen at a dog park. And that's why I am not a great fan for just going to a dog park. Dog parks can cause some problems with your dog if they're not handled correctly. You never know who's going to be there and who's going to bring a dog there that's not ready for a dog park, right? So the Akita and Pit Bull that attacked this particular Great Dane, obviously, based on what Trina is telling me, were not ready for the dog park. But part of that, and I'm not blaming Trina, part of that is a misunderstanding about dog parks, what it is that what your responsibility is at a dog park, especially those people that had the dogs that attacked her dog, right? It's, hey, what? She's on. Hold on. Let me bring her on to the broadcast. 3, 2, 1. Hey.
Hey.
You look so cool with your headphones on there. Oh, the only thing you have to do is turn off the Facebook page that I'm on. There you go.
Oh, shit. Hold on. That's me.
That's okay. I love hearing myself. I love hearing my voice.
What? Ah!
You got it.
There we go.
I think.
So here's the deal.
Yes.
It doesn't work on, I have to put it on Chrome.
Oh, I probably should have mentioned that.
Yeah.
BeLive.tv loves Chrome, not
Yes.
Safari, not any of the other ones. So sorry about that. So Gina, what do you think about the discussion that I've been? Oh, nice job. It says Oklaf. What's Oklaf? Oh, now you froze up. Should have never shown the logo. There you are. So what do you think about the discussion that we've been having here?
Oh, I love it. I think when we talk about, you're talking about the pinch collars, yeah, we always want to start with the relationship between the handler and the dog, and not always going up to, the highest level of collar we have. Of course, that's e-collar, but we want to try and see the relationship between the dog and the owner first and get a feel, because day one doesn't really do much because they're so amped up at being at our field, and so many dogs have been on that field. You've trained thousands of dogs on that field, so to get a feel on the first day is actually not really very true, I think, to what the relationship is at that point.
Yeah, and those first few minutes, the one thing I miss about being on the field is the first probably 20 minutes to 30 minutes on that field, that very first day when everybody gets there and the dog and they're saying there's no way that we're going to be able to do this. I mean, people are just like overwhelmed very quickly, and we say just relax.
Yes.
We'll get you in the positions, and we really work with everybody. And we tell some of the people that this may be the most boring class they've ever been in, but to trust us that it just bear with us as we get all these dogs into position. And then by the end of that hour, you got dogs sitting next to each other that these folks have not, they never thought their dog would sit next to another pit bull or a Chihuahua or a Pomeranian. So yes, that first few minutes is very, very important and very powerful.
Yeah, and even more importantly, it's getting the humans to relax next to different breeds of dogs, getting them to feel comfortable. Because it starts there first.
Yeah. Yeah, and the other thing is you see the knots tied in the leash and the they're wrapped around their hands. And then I remember seeing people with like the scratches on their arms and bite marks on their arms and all that kind of stuff. Oh, let me get rid of Trina's thing here so it's hiding. But I do miss that very first day. That's probably one of my favorite times in the programs. But again, like you said, it's an important time to what can happen is that it's just so easy for many dog trainers. Just we'll put all the dogs on a pinch collar, and suddenly we have success. Well, it's a false success. It's not correct, right? It's not helping the situation. You're not helping the dog. Again, we want to build relationships between the humans and their dogs, not harm relationships.
Right.
Now, and there have been those times where we would not be able to even get started with a dog unless we gave the human the pinch collar to at least get started. There are those, right? And so we have to keep that in mind. I'm not sitting here trying to say that, we've never put a pinch collar on the dog for the very first day. Sometimes there's almost no way of getting past the first day because of what we have going on. So, what other things have we have I missed about bringing up the pinch collar? What have I? I'm sure there's something.
Maybe proper fitting. I don't know if I didn't catch the beginning, but proper fitting. A lot of people tend to keep it down here. It'll come down to making sure that it's behind. It covers all the way up around the chin, behind the atlas bones. Yeah, those are the ones right behind the ears.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about my guns, my Atlas guns.
Oh, well, mine too. No, I'm just kidding.
The Atlas bones. I like that.
Yeah. That vet that brought their dog to us showed us that because we're like, oh, you got to put it behind the two bones, right? Oh, those are the Atlas bones, just so you know. Oh, great.
Of course. I could have told you that.
Right. Don't say you never learned anything from me, Andy.
Yeah, but I mean, that is key, right? If it's not fit right, then you might as well not use it. It actually can harm your dog if it's not worn correctly.
I mean, I've seen them where they literally had them so big that it's like a harness. I mean, it's just resting on the chest almost, and we're like, no.
Yeah, the dog's just looking at you. No big deal. And you want to make sure and get a Herm Springer or HS pinch collar. The other collars at PetSmart Petco. And sorry to throw them under the bus, but they actually are kind of concaved and sharp edged on those pinch collars. And you don't want to go cheap. Those are $10 pinch collars, and those can cause some very strong irritation on the skin and actually poke holes in your dog's skin. But a Herm Springer is rounded in a lot better quality than the cheaper models, and that's definitely something you don't want to go cheap. You don't want to go cheap on your pinch collar.
True, I've seen them pop off at times.
Yep. So when's the next class start over there at the Falco Field? When's the next group obedience class?
Yeah, we're wrapping up our last class of the year. So we'll start up again on the second week in January. I believe it's January 10th is a Wednesday night, and January 13th on a Saturday morning.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You have to come out there. And I know I keep saying this, but I'm going to come out there and do some Facebook Lives. I promise. We're going to go out there and get it back out there. Thank you for the connection to Cameron Thompson. She was on, and I missed it completely. I didn't even see she was on until just now, so she's probably left us. She probably got bored with my discussion, but that was a really good connection. We've had a good phone conversation, and a couple of good emails back and forth, so that was really good. Good.
I'm excited for that connection.
And yes, I was sucking up on her Facebook page by commenting. Absolutely.
Don't share my text messages.
And I'm sad that she didn't stay on because it'd be great to have all three of us on here right now. But yeah, we're going to do some podcasting this weekend, which will probably go live in the middle of next week. So we're going to be talking about evaluations and that kind of stuff. And so just stay tuned. I'm going to probably ask you to join us on one or two of them if you don't mind. Yeah. What else? Is there anything else that we could talk about? Anything else happening that got any new puppy stuff or sniffer stuff, or what's planned for 2018? Oh
my gosh, a lot of stuff. I'm trying to put together an agility class. trying to put that together after the first of the year. I got about 5 or 6 people who are interested in like an intro to agility, which will be fun. And I usually require that they at least have, basic to intermediate, obedience at that point, because they have to be able to engage with their dog in agility. So that's definitely a must. And we have our free pack walks, second Sunday of every month. We just did a huge one for Halloween, which was awesome. We had about 40 dogs in costume, half of them in costumes, half of them not. But we're going to continue the free pack walks. It's a great way for people to meet other people in the community with, dog lovers. We provide free training. We help you out with socialization for that hour and a half. We've really built some really good relationships with people in the community and get a lot of regulars. So it's been a really big point in our training to get people just randomly from my meetup groups or Facebook ads or Instagram people coming. So it's really cool. Meeting a lot of people.
Awesome. One thing I want to throw out there to the universe, and I want you to help me follow through. Hold on, I'm typing a very important text message. Walk in the front door. I got to tell somebody to walk in the front door because I'm live in my studio, in my very expensive high-end studio here in my garage. Okay, so I'm going to throw this out to the universe. For years, probably 20 years maybe or so, every year I threaten to put on a dog obedience competition. I've also thought about adding a dog sniff type of competition along with it, and it doesn't matter what it is. We'll have all the disciplines and be able to do it, whether it's narcotics, bombs, fun nose work, whatever it is. I threaten to do that too. So I don't want to get too complicated, but at least want to have a dog obedience competition. Invite everybody. They don't have to be Falco Canine graduates, and just put on a competition at the Falco field. And that has been something I've been wanting to do for such a long time. It just seems like every year goes by and I don't ever do it. But I wanted right there in the public. What?
I'm holding you to it now. You said it.
All right.
I got you.
And it could be small. I want to have a barbecue.
We're going to make it happen.
I want to have a couple vendors there, people from local vendors, maybe a local veterinarian, some dog leash people, some dog food people. Canaday has been friends of ours for a long time, and Blue Buffalo and those people. Maybe they can send some representatives over, do that kind of stuff, and just have a fun day of competition. And we can do basic, intermediate, and advanced competitions. Meet people where they're at. And I think that would be a fun day for us to do that. And I want to, and I have been wanting to do this for such a long time. I just need to put it out there so that we have to make it happen. What do you think?
I'm game. I'm ready. All
right. And it'll be fun. It won't be like all stressed out, but we'll give away little, we'll have like a medal ceremony, have people stand on the 3-tiered thing and put them on the dogs, and then, watch us get bit by, the winner or something like that in the face. That would be fun. But it'll be fun. Well, we got to do it. We got to pick a month and figure out when we're going to do that, and just put it out there.
Yep.
And again, got to do it. And then I'm sure it will be fantastic because we have enough followers, we have enough people that have been through our system that it'll be good. And I just need somebody to hold my, what do they say? Hold your feet to the fire. Hold your face to the fire. Something like
that. Anything.
One of those things. I don't have my Firewalker shirt on. Oops, I just pulled off my microphone. Oops, sorry. I'm glad Cameron's not. I called her Cameron earlier. Cameron's not on right now, seeing me fumble around with my microphone. She goes, "Oh, forget that. I'm not putting up with that guy." All right. Well, I think we've had a good discussion. Trina, we had a great talk with her Great Dane, and hopefully that made sense. Did it make sense? It all makes sense in my head. I just don't know if it's coming out the mouth correctly.
Yeah, I think it made sense.
Okay, good. That didn't sound very convincing. Let me just make sure I'm not missing something, because I completely did not see Cameron on here. I'm very sad because I would have forced her to come on live. I'm not seeing anything else. Stuart Lopez, we talked about his dog. We need to come see you. Yes, you do. His dog is named Bruno. That just Cher has a new dog. She was the owner of Bruno, the narcotics detection dog that just recently passed away from cancer. That's it. I'm not seeing anybody else. All right. Unless I missed anything, Gina, do you have one more closing statement? You want to? Oh, yeah. How's your daughter doing? Is she got assigned to an FTO and all that yet?
She is an active officer with an FTO, and she's on the streets of Fullerton.
Nice. That is fantastic.
Yeah. She loves it.
Trying to think of some of my friends over there at Fullerton. I don't even know if they're still there, but yeah, Fullerton was one of the departments I tried to get hired on, and they were smart enough not to hire me. But I ended up being in Anaheim instead. But I'm glad, because Anaheim, I don't think I would have gotten the canine program as fast as I did if I would have been in the other police department. But Fullerton canines and Anaheim and Cypress and Brea, we all had a training group and trained together. So I knew lots of Fullerton guys over there. But that's a really good department, and they need somebody like your daughter there to balance all the big men that are over there. They need her over there to balance it all out. Yes. Those are great pictures from the academy too, and from the graduation.
Thank you. It was nerve-wracking the entire time, but you made it.
And I hate to say this, I got a little emotional looking at that. I was just like, wow, it just takes me back. And then I can imagine how proud you feel, and seeing her standing up there and then pinning the badge on her. I remember all of that. It was just, it was so cool. I'm getting emotional now. How crazy. I'm so stupid.
You'll never forget. It's definitely a memory, never a proud moment as a parent, as a spouse, or whoever's up there. It's an amazing moment that, especially for my daughter, she's known what she's wanted to do since she was 5 years old. And, she's been in law enforcement since she was 14 and a half. So as a explorer, then a cadet. So this is a dream come true for her. So I'm really proud.
Awesome. Well, congratulations for raising such a great person.
Thank you.
Great human being. All right. That is it. We are done. Gina, thank you for getting your, you need Chrome. I just wanted to tell you that, just so you know.
Yeah.
All right. All right. This is both of us saying good night from Falco Canine Academy, and we will see you at the next one. Take care. We'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.